if it weren't true, you'd say this is just horrible. Like
Right.
you would say this is ridiculous. Really, the coach gave them the money and the they missed the starting gun and all of it's true.
This film is almost perfect. I love it.
Okay.
Here's the thing. I love inspirational journeys like this. This is the ultimate underdog story, but I love this time frame as well.
Yeah.
It just fascinates me. I mean, the boys were up against the University of Washington seniors. They went up against these rich fraternity kids, and then the Nazis. What a story,
Yeah,
right?
all the people you can't stand.
Yeah, exactly, right? Now,
Rich kids and the Nazis.
most stories in this genre would have the team band together and win because of their athletic prowess, but it was more than that. These guys were their backs against the wall simply because if they didn't do it, they couldn't afford college.
Right.
George, can you talk about that motivating factor and pushing the team beyond their limits?
That's the book, and he's such a beautiful writer. And that's what sort of made this story so special. It's the Depression, and these guys have no money. And Washington State was a very poor area. And everybody was poor, but they were really properly poor, lumberjacks mostly. So they did it to eat, and they did it to stay and get in school and try to get an education and get ahead. And they ended up being the Beatles, which is a really unusual thing that they ended up honestly being the great, this insanely talented group of young men. So it's such a fun story. If it weren't true, you'd say this is just horrible. Like
Right.
you would say this is ridiculous. Really, the coach gave them the money and they missed the starting gun and all of it's true.
Joel, I would fight for you if you were my coach. I'm going
Yeah.
to tell you right now,
Yeah.
such a fantastic performance. I love these hard-ass coaches that seem miserable at
Yeah.
doing it,
Yeah.
but absolutely do it because of passion and that just drive to succeed. What did you want to bring to Coach Ulbrichtson that wasn't on the page?
Just that feeling of an imminent heart attack. We were really curious together in conversations about avoiding too much love and warmth in the beginning. That I think Ulbrichtson, heading into the year with a new batch of kids, is looking at the length of arms and the size of shoulders and the strength of hands, and looking at them as more like kind of a components of the boat rather than individuals, and just building throughout the story to the inevitable sense of empathy you get when you spend time with anyone. And just that little sort of glimmer of love, and so this sort of relationship of a coach as much as like a father figure.
I maybe didn't realize this before, but rowing seems very similar to filmmaking. Everyone doing different jobs all in unison. Can you give me an example of a day on set when the production boat maybe wasn't cutting water, but you guys all pushed together to pass to that finish line?
Well, it happens every day, right? I mean, when you're directing a film, you've got 7 or 8 different unions, all of them wanting, and people filling those unions that all have their own opinions of what they want. And part of your job is to try to make sure that all of them are heard, and then still all trying to make the same film. So, but that's the fun of it. It's like, it's like being in the military a little bit. Joel's directed, and he knows what it's like. And by the way, it's really helpful to work with actors who've directed, because, I'll say to him, instead of having to explain anything, I'll just be like, and then I need you at the door at the end of the speech. He's like, got it. And it's so much easier than having to say, I think the reason you walked to the door is because your parents were alcoholics. And, and that's why you're in. It's like, I would stumble.
How did you know my parents were alcoholics?
Let's leave your parents out of this.
But I'll say this too, the COVID ripped through the entire cast at the beginning month of the shoot. We never missed a day. And the ability for this production, thanks to George, of just going, we're going to keep shooting, finding the right things to sort of move around, that I was certain we were going to just collapse.
Yeah,
but
I was directing from an iPad for a week because I was quarantined and sick with COVID.
He was actually in like coma.
Yeah, I was smoking a cigar.
Well, look, the film is absolutely phenomenal, so inspirational, and like I said, man, you guys made me want to jump in one of these boats. If you were the coach, I would have definitely jumped in and tried to crew. But
the pool's downstairs. I'll have a little
training session.
Come on, man, let's do it. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate your time.